Hello and welcome to our Top Table Gaming painting tutorial. Hi folks, I'm Top Table Steve. Thanks for joining me today. As some of you may know, I've been working on my Space Marines for our Conquest narrative campaign, which is starting very soon, and I've needed to get a lot of Space Marines painted quite quick, and it's been driving me insane. I've actually come up with a way of painting them to a fairly good standard, I think. The armour anyway, very quick, and I've realised this technique after I've already painted 25, so it's quite annoying, but I thought I'd share it with you guys because I've shown it to a few people and they're like, that's really good, how did you do it? So rather than keep explaining myself, I thought I'd do this quick video just to show you how I achieved it. So this is the kind of finish that we're going for. I'll show you some close-ups on camera in a second, but we'll get over on the painting table and start getting some paint on them. Let's have a look at this one that I've got ready for you. Here we are with what I tend to call the greys. So as you can see, I've assembled the model. I've left the head off. It is an idea to actually leave sometimes the arms off so you can get to the detailing on the chesting, but just for this demonstration I've only left the head off just to show you the different ways of doing things. So that's the greys. What I'm going to go away and do now is undercoat these black. And as we can see here, I've got a nice even base coat of black on there, on the helmet also. And I use, not that it matters really, you could just use any primer, but I use Vallejo surface primer. This is actually the Panzer Grey, but I did use the black. The reason I've shown that one is because on my black one, I've got paint all over the stickers and you can't see it. So that's the model undercoated. I'll now grab my tin, yes, rattle can of Macragge Blue, and we'll go from there. So now we move on to the stage where we start putting blue on this ultramarine. I've already shook this off camera. Give it another quick shake. Make sure you shake these thoroughly, otherwise you can have major problems with a lot of spray paints where they come out dusty and stuff. Make sure the can's not too cold, make sure it's not too warm, make sure the temperature in where you're using it is pretty neutral, and make sure you've got lots of airflow. Don't be doing this in a room with windows closed and doors closed. If you can do it outside, great, but sometimes the temperature outside or the weather conditions outside can affect the paint. You're best off just doing it in a room that does have a lot of ventilation like I have in here. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit the model directly from the top, including the head, with the Macragge Blue, like this. Straight down from the top. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come in at a 45-degree angle all the way around, and the same on the helmet. Now normally I do these separate, but just for the purposes of the camera I'm just going to leave them where they are and hit them from where I am, and I'll move around. So as you can see, I'm doing short bursts. I'm not holding the trigger down and overloading the paint, you don't need to. Just short bursts is all you need. And then what I tend to do, because Space Marines are so top heavy, I will just kind of come in at just ever so slightly higher than horizontal, very light, like that. And what that does, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, as you're looking down you're getting a nice true blue, and as you start to look from underneath you can still see some of the black underneath, and you get a natural shadow, and this helps with the overall paint job later stages, which we'll go to next. So that's the Macragge Blue on, and we'll move on to the next stage. So now the Macragge Blue has dried thoroughly. What I have here is I got one of my Nuln Oils down to about halfway full, and I topped it up with a pot of Lamium Medium, which was about 2/3 full, and I used this for this stage. So make sure you shake it nice and well. If you don't shake it, you tend to get a bit of a shine, because the lime medium's got a matte finish to it, but it tends to separate. So you need to shake that up nice and thoroughly, and then this stage is basically a case of getting the wash on your brush and we're whacking it on. There is no scientific way to put this on, I found, other than whacking it on. Not too much, you don't want to puddle, so you do want to keep control of it even though you're getting a lot of it on the model. Obviously you don't need to get it on the gun because that's going to be a different colour. Make sure you get plenty in around inside the neck though. You want some nice shading in there. And the reason we're doing this is because I hate black lining. So this, and then the next stage, eliminates me having to blackline my Marines. Now I have blacklined some and they look great, and I've done this on others, and you have to look really closely to tell which are which. But I'm happy with how this turns out, and like I said, this is a quick way to get a lot of Marines painted to a fairly decent standard. So that's where we're at. Now what you could do at this stage, which I've not done in this tutorial because I'm just talking about the armour in this tutorial, but what you could do in this stage is, before you get to this stage, once your Macrag's dry, is fill in all the, sort of the under armour segments, so you know, the inside of the elbows, the backs of the knees, around the stomach area, anything that's going to be black, and do that a dark grey, maybe an Eshin grey or something like that, or Reaper, and you're basically going to shade that at this stage. That's what I did when I painted 3 at a time. But like I said, I'm just showing you how to get the armour to a fairly decent standard in this video. Maybe I'll do, if you like this video and you want to see a Marine fully painted from start to finish, let me know in the comments and I will do it. So, just the helmet, and we're just going to blob it on. And then we're going to pick out all them puddles, suck them back up, pop them back in the pot. We just want to make sure that the wash is settling in all the details. So that's the model washed. You need to let that thoroughly dry. We can't do the next stage till that is completely dry. Okay, so the next stage, we're going to sort of hit it again with the Macrag blue, and we're going to start blocking in colours, because I find colouring in the panels in Macrag blue and avoiding the joints in the armour is a lot easier than actually trying to blackline the joints. So obviously the colours in this stage we're going to use are Macrag blue. Once we've done that, we're going to edge highlight using Calgar blue, and then we are going to do a tiny amount of airbrush work, and we're going to use UK Azure blue. Now this is the closest model air from Vallejo that I've found to Calgar blue. You can get Calgar blue as a air paint. I just tend to use Vallejo for my airbrush because they're in dropper bottles and it's a lot easier to use, and that's the closest, and it turns out quite well. So we'll move them out of the way for the minute and we'll start work on blocking in. So I'll get some of the Macrag blue on my brush, nice and neat. And what we'll do, we will start filling in. I'll start at the top and work my way down, so I'm going to start filling in the shoulder pads. And all I'm doing is repainting over the paint that's already there, but avoiding those crevices and recesses so it leaves the shade in. You don't want to rush this bit, especially on the shoulder pads. You want it to be nice and smooth. I'm finding this quite awkward painting it on camera, but I'll do my best. It's not my preferred position for holding. I look like an old man when I'm painting. I have the model right close to my face. So a little bit of brush control, and you're just bringing that blue back. Now at this stage after putting the wash on, coming back in with my crag blue, you tend to start to get sort of stark differences that you'll notice, but don't worry about them at this stage. And as the paint goes on wet, it's always lighter than it will be when it dries. As you can also see, I'm using a painting handle, which makes life a lot easier for getting in these funny angles, especially when you try to do it on camera. So yeah, this is what we're doing. So all the armour panels that are raised, you want to bring back to be my crag blue. But as you can see, what I'm doing, I'm feathering in a downward motion, and then I'm on this elbow pad. Don't know how well it's showing up. And I'm going to bring any excess paint back up. It leaves the underside of the shoulder pad dark, or the top side where you're going to be catching the light, lighter. So the way of doing this, you know, I'll probably get a lot of painters coming on and shouting at me and saying that's not how you do it, but it looks good on my army and it's quick. So yeah, this is what I'm doing. So that's the actual body done for the Space Marine, and just before we go on to the edge highlighting, we will repeat the process on the head. So we're going to re-pick out all the raised areas like the top of the helmet here. Sorry, off camera, do apologise. So this is my crag blue again, and we're just leaving the recesses dark. So we're going to move on to the edge highlights, and the edge highlights are exactly as you'd expect them to be. If you've painted these before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They are soul destroying, but very effective. So we are going to be picking out all the very edges with the edges with a very, very fine line of Calgar blue. Where we can, we will just be using the edge of the brush to pick up the edge of any armour plates, but there are going to be points where you do have to physically get your brush to a nice fine point and pick things out, just like here. Okay guys, so all the edge highlighting is done with the brush. We're now going to highlight some of the armour with an airbrush. For this we are using, as I said before, the Vallejo Model Air Azure Blue. And we're going to start off, I'll start off at the top. We're going to start off with these shoulder pads. So, never just spray straight on, always test that your airbrush is working on your finger or slower down. And we are just going to try and get this. This is going to be difficult for me to do, if I'm honest, because the way I work with an airbrush. So here we go, and we're just going to pull back and get a little bit of colour. You see that? And then the other shoulder pad. A blockage. I've done the shoulder pads, I've done the arms. I'm going to do the knee pads now, and it's similar to the shoulder pads, but we only want the top. Like that. Just along the top. Yeah, brush is being a bit of a bugger, but we'll get through this tutorial. I should have cleaned it before I did it. And then we're going to do down the side of the shin pad. Yeah, and if you highlight a little bit too much, like I think I've done here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset that with my Crag Blue and do it again. So I think I'll do that now. Yeah, that's much better. So as you can see here, here's one that I did earlier. I think that they look very, very good. This one that I've done on the tutorial is a little bit lighter, so I'll probably dull that down a little bit. But yeah, I think that's a quick and easy way, and that's pretty much the armour done. So from there I'd move on to doing the weaponry, picking out the gold or whatever you're doing on the shoulder pads, and browns of the belt and pouches, etc. And away you go. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. So I'll move on and get the helmet done. And we'll call him done. So here we go. That's how I quick and easy get the base colours on my armour for my Ultramarines, and then from there I will start picking out the detail, as I said earlier. Here is the captain, which I did earlier, just to show you the kind of effect it has. If we can get him to focus. I think it looks really well, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, so if you like this tutorial and you want to see more of these, let me know and I'll do them. If you'd like to see a Space Marine completed, so obviously the guy that we've started, I could work on him and get him finished with all the details. I could do that also. Or if there's any other tutorials that you'd like to see, if you like seeing painting tutorials, do get involved in the comments below. Let me know what you think of them, and we'll see what we can do. You will be seeing these chaps very, very soon in our battle report, the start of our new narrative campaign for 40k, which I'm really excited about. If you don't know anything about it, have a look through our previous videos. You'll see an intro video announcing the campaign, very atmospheric, very moody, setting the tone for what's about to come. So yeah, I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thanks for watching, and take care.